In keeping with this month's theme about honesty in entrepreneurship, I thought I would talk a little bit about being a passionate cook, doing what I love as a job, and burnout. So, hey there, Chef Shelley here. I've had a personal chef business for over 15 years, and that's why I feel 100% qualified to talk about cooking passion, burnout, and all the other things that are super fun to talk about. If you're interested in starting your own personal chef business, because when I'm not cooking for my own clients, I help passionate cooks just like you start your own personal chef business. You can hit subscribe, make sure you hit the little bell, and you'll never miss one of my weekly informative videos. So, what is burnout? Let's just all start on the same page. It says on the interweb, so it must be true, that burnout is a state of physical, emotional, and or mental exhaustion brought on by chronic and prolonged stress. It happens when we have or put on ourselves excessive work pressure or really any pressure. It can be long working hours, job insecurity, conflicts at work, conflicts at home, feeling a lack of control about anything, life in general, or a work environment specifically. So what happens is that when we have those conditions for long enough, you end up losing your motivation, not wanting to do things, feeling frustrated and negative about work or about cooking in general, or just about life. So this can start out in a kind of minor way, but if you prolong it by not taking care of yourself, it can really result in serious physical things like insomnia, headaches, which can develop into migraines and fatigue. So here are some things to keep from getting burnout in the first place, especially if you're doing what you love for work too, like cooking. Make time for activities that help you relax and recharge. Some people like to call this self-care. I think that term is getting overused because it can really be anything. It doesn't have to be exercise or meditation. It can just be hanging out with friends. It can be killing a good half hour on TikTok. It can be participating in something outside your cooking passion for a break, right? You don't always have to be the one to cook, for the family get together. Believe it or not, the world is not going to stop spinning if you bring a grocery store salad to game night with your friends. So, speaking of which, something that goes hand on hand with that, learn to say no to things that don't either align with what you want to do or even that are just going to be too much for right now or feel overwhelming. Establish a balance not only in your work stuff, but in your personal life so that you have time for both. You have time for other things. You have time for some nothing to give yourself some white space. Speaking of that, take breaks. And that's not just regular breaks during work and stuff that can help you recharge and stay focused. Take short breaks throughout the day, take longer breaks, and take vacations when you need it, and solid breaks like that. So what happens when you're doing all that and you still just feel bleh about cooking? But you know that you love to cook and you just can't feel it. You're just not feeling it. Here are some ideas that might help you get your spark back. Try a new recipe, right? Sometimes we can get in a rut with cooking the same meals for our family, the same meals for clients when you're a personal chef, maybe the same meals if you're working at a restaurant, and it gets monotonous and boring, especially if you don't like the food yourself. You can look at this kind of two different ways. Try a new recipe that'll challenge your culinary skills to inspire you, or try something super easy that'll just get you back in the kitchen. A classic, Toll House cookies, whatever, that you just know will be good. It could be fun. Maybe take a cooking class just for fun, not even necessarily to improve your skill or to move ahead at work. maybe a workshop to learn a new technique, or just to gain inspiration from someone else, to be around other people who are feeling inspired. Cook with friends, invite friends over to cook together, make it a fun social activity. Maybe that can help reignite your passion. Don't take it so seriously that it has to be perfect all the time. Let people help who don't hold a knife correctly, right? That might be fun. Explore new cuisine, maybe, try cooking something from a different culture. It can help you discover new ingredients and flavor combinations that might rekindle your love for cooking. Maybe watch some cooking shows you haven't seen before, new cookbooks or magazines or blogs to get inspiration, learn new techniques from other chefs. Maybe it's getting out in the fresh air and the sunshine and visit a farmer's market or a food festival or something, again, to connect with other food lovers, talk about food, talk about with food producers in real life. We all learned from COVID that there's a big difference in the connection between being with someone in real life and being over a screen. Maybe that can help, having that two-way exchange. Maybe focus on the process, not just the result. Again, I said earlier, someone's using a knife wrong. Maybe the food's not going to be perfect, but instead of focusing on that end result, like we have to do for our work and our job, focus on the process. Enjoy the smells, the textures, the flavors, or do the opposite. Go out to eat and focus on the experience of enjoying the food and the service and not having to be the one who made it. Skip the process and enjoy the product. That might be something that you can really enjoy, because cooking should be enjoyable, right? When it's our passion, not stressful. But that's not always possible when you're doing it for work or even doing it for your family all the time. But trying different things that, might not even involve you cooking, maybe you'll help you recover that spark to make it a fun and enjoyable activity again. And at the end of the day, if you're having trouble getting excited about anything that you used to really love and be passionate about, this could be a sign of something more serious, whether it's seasonal depression, hormonal changes, or something else completely. Talk to someone else, whether that's a friend, a family member, a professional, and take care of yourself. Again, it doesn't matter if it's a friend or a family or a therapist. Don't hesitate to ask for help when you need it, because none of us are here alone and we all need support at sometimes from other people. This is April right now. We are coming out of a lot of places with a long, painful winter, even though it's 2023, or we are coming out of a long, painful COVID process of a couple of years, more than that, depending on where you are. So be very mindful of yourself. And if you find yourself not taking pleasure in the things that you know you love, like cooking, do that self-care as the first steps to try to mix it up and feel that again. And if it goes on for longer than that, definitely seek out that help.